It is also a theistic and philosophical void, where even having the concept of nothing is too much, because nothing implies the existence of something.
And each cycles like the
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And first off, I want to say, little ghost is awake, but I'm really worried now. I don't want to bother him. Yesterday, when I picked him up, he was squeaking when he breathed, little wheezy sounds. And now he's sneezing this morning, so if he's sick, I don't know how to treat that, and I can't afford to take him to the vet, so I'm kind of worried about him. Poor little guy, I didn't want to bother him. I reached in when I heard him walking around, and so I'm gonna do some research and find out what I got to do, because oh boy, he's my good little guy, and I don't want him to be sick and getting bad. It's going to be in the mid-70s today for the weather. Just thought I'd mention that. And of course, front-loading the videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good, even if it was only for the algorithm to help boost the comments and such in the channel and the algorithms. Thumbs up for that. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without their help, I would be hosed like a Christmas monkey along with all of my pets. So that would be bad. Thank you very, very much. If you would like to be a patron and help me survive along with my pets, I have links to that in the video description, along with a PayPal for donations. And if you'd like to help me out, there is also an Amazon wishlist link. And I did get a box of cat food yesterday off the Amazon wishlist, and I believe it was from a Phil. I forgot to bring the little sheet of paper in here. I don't want to give the full name because sometimes people don't like that. But thank you very, very much. My kitty appreciates that quite a bit. Thumbs up and thank you. And of course, I do have a post office box where you can send me anything, postcards, keychains, and I will open them up on channel. Thumbs up for that. Front loading the video is over. Yay! I also just added that thanking because I meant to thank, and so thumbs up for that. But yeah, I'm worried about Ghost, along with Amelia being old, and you know, she's doing as well as she can now. She's been more active, she's eating more, so it's good. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I do want to talk about some of my fictional setting stuff here quite a bit, so I'm going to try and hurry through this stuff because, oh boy, like I've mentioned before, I've got this much stuff just on the cosmology and cosmic horrors that comes down to this for the universe, comes down to this for the setting and characters, that would be just this much writing. But that's okay. So, things that have happened. Yesterday when I went out on walkies and came back, there was a gray kitty sitting on our porch. And it was a nice looking gray kitty, and I've seen it around, so I hope it's not stray or abandoned or anything. Poor thing. Just thought I'd mention that. Still lots and lots of spiders, and in fact, over underneath my window there, I moved something, and there's a little tiny spider about that big making a web. So I gotta make sure to get a mister, so, well, you know, water mist, not a mister as in a guy, a mister to spray some water onto that web so the spider can drink, because they need to drink. So thumbs up for that, just thought I'd mention. And I also discovered on a video today, you've seen the placeholder text, that lorem ipsum, and a whole bunch of stuff that looks like gibberish Latin. That is conceivably centuries old. People used to write that by hand as placeholder text until we had machines and computers. It wasn't made for like word processors. It's been used and written by hand as placeholders. Thumbs up, just thought I'd mention that. Anything else that I have on my list? And aside from, of course, here in the United States, as we fall into fascism and just all this great stuff, the Supreme Court continues to show their true colors, acting like extreme right-wing partisan hacks, all the while crying and complaining that the public perceives them as extreme right-wing partisan hacks. The only reason that people view the Supreme Court in the United States with any form of illegitimacy is because of the extreme partisan right-wing hacks that have illegitimized the Supreme Court. Past that, I have just had life. I have survived yesterday. I did some things. I went on walkies. I wasn't able to do some other things, but I got life done, and that's good there. So thumbs up, and I thought I'd mention all that. Didn't sleep all that well. Been pretty time blind this morning. Oh joy. But I'm taking still the last of my Ritalin, the last of the guanfacine before I have to renew it, and Wellbutrin. So I'm on 3 forms of ADHD meds these past couple, and I still feel barely medicated. So thumbs up for that. Yay. Life is life. Life is life. So, for a quick thing, and I gotta be quick because I've mentioned in comments to various people that there's so much just on all these things, because with the cosmology, there's the beginning of things. It all starts with the Ungata here on our level, and the Ungata is infinite up until the moment that there is a point. There is a point when something changes. From that point into the past, it is infinite. From that point into the future, it is infinite. There is an event that casts a point, but it is infinite in both directions from that time. And the Ungata is the void. It is not just a physical void, of which we have none in our universe, nor do we have any evidence that there can be such a thing. It is also a theistic and philosophical void, where even having the concept of nothing is too much, because nothing implies the existence of something, and if you even have the concept of something, that's too claustrophobic. In physical terms, anything that enters the Ungata, any physical matter, immediately evaporates into energy, and energy falls into its lowest possible rest state. There is nothing that can further happen inside of anything that enters the void. There is no way to interact with it any further. There is no action, no possibility for action. It effectively ceases to exist. That is the void. There was a break, something happened, there is energy coming from a higher level of reality, because our reality, our wavelength of visible light and all X-rays and infrared is effectively, metaphorically, just the visible light spectrum of a higher electromagnetic spectrum of a higher level of reality. It keeps doing that. Above them, their reality and their wavelengths are all just the visible light spectrum, metaphorically. Go up, it keeps doing that. Go downward, it opens up the same. Inside of the void, the Ungata, there was a break, and energy from one of these levels comes through. There is enough energy pouring through that it eventually formed a reservoir around the break. So there's too hot, it's acting as fluid dynamics, just too hot, everything melts. There's too cold, everything just evaporates downward into its lowest possible rest state. There is a thin film between the two where this energy is able to coalesce, and they form tiny singularities based on the energy from the break. Around these singularities, each one of them has a set of individual universal constants, and they begin pouring out configurations of universes around that, and each point of singularity becomes a multiverse. Those universal constants that don't work, the universe collapses, the singularity sparks out. Those universal constants that last, it's a full and entire multiverse. Now, coming to multiverses, leaving that one behind real quick. In our multiverse, everything just stays the same. But if something can happen in the multiverse that makes, well, if it can happen in the multiverse, then it will happen in the multiverse. If something happens in the multiverse that can't happen in the multiverse will split. That happens here. There is a race of builders, makers, builders from a much, much higher level. They set themselves challenges. One of the challenges was, can we create an infinite city? of infinite size, etc., etc., and then people it with an infinite number of people. They sank the foundations for the city deep into the bones of our multiverse, at which point our multiverse split, leaving the one with no interference and one with the city. Because the city has its foundation sunk into the multiverse is a part of the city. But the city is not a part of the multiverse. It is foreign. The people there could travel to the multiverse and back, but have no desire to do so, because the city is built. The makers were successful. It is infinite in size, in enrichment, in pleasure, in everything. It is peopled with an infinite number of people, literally. It is infinite in size, infinite in the number of people, infinite enrichment, infinite happiness. The people love the city loves the people, and everything is good. Amaterasu is a being that came and lived in another multiverse. She did many things that were impossible. Amaterasu. She is from a form of life that does not reproduce as we do. The best you can sort of imagine is kind of an egg layer, laying eggs that will hatch into drones unless they're fertilized by another being, at which point they become beings like her. That is not how it actually happens. That's the closest that we can imagine it. They have no mammalian reproduction. Even if there was mammalian reproduction and there was one thing there that could do it, there are no others. Even if there were, none of them have mammalian reproductive parts. None of them could bear children. It is impossible. Amaterasu becomes pregnant, mammalian pregnant, bearing within 12 uterus, 12 developing fetuses, to save herself and her children so that they will have a chance to live. She does, again, the impossible and launches herself from her multiverse out into the Ungata, the void, and does not die. She travels. You can't travel through the Ungata. It is infinite. And infinite means once you enter it, even if it's only a millimeter thick, you will travel for eternity. You will never reach the other side. You can't. It is infinite in size. Amaterasu flew through the Ungata and set her sights upon the city. Another impossibility. You cannot perceive the city unless you live there. The multiverse split again, where they're happy here and where Amaterasu lands on the city. As they see her coming, there are three choices the people of the city could make: evacuate, fight and eventually evacuate, or fight and win. In our multiverse, they evacuate, and in a very short amount of time, in a very orderly and good fashion, an infinite number of people evacuate an infinitely large area, leaving behind an empty, infinitely large city that Amaterasu lands on. That is when it splits, because this one, they fight, and the city is damaged badly. Many people are murdered and lost. They eventually evacuate, which is another split where they fight, kill a couple of her children, and eventually force her out of the city, and they become a very powerful thing. But back to the one where they evacuate, which is our multiverse. The city itself is now in absolute mourning because all of its people that it loved are gone, and only these things are here. And even at that, as much as it hates these things, it's in fear of when they die, because then it will be truly alone. It is caught in a cycle of mourning it can never break out of. For an infinite amount of time, it will be mourning the loss of its people. It will last forever because it gathers directly energy from the singularity to repair and sustain itself. It will mourn for eternity. Amaterasu herself, when she lands, again, does the impossible and live births her 12 children. These 12 children are the cosmic horrors, along with her, that influence everything in this multiverse. Amaterasu lives within the infinite city. Her 12 children, as much as they treat the multiverse as their home, because it is to them, it is their home. They were born here. They love it as much as that we can understand what they understand as love. But their interests in things aren't always what we would like. But even at that, these cosmic horrors are so far above us, we wouldn't even recognize them if they saw them. You can't be frightened of them. That's like being frightened of gravity or angry at the speed of light. They are so far above us. But each of her children has something called an ong that it can send down into universes that they have interest in. They burrow into the fabric of reality, lay 12 eggs, and they birth the Ongoka, 12 aspects of the cosmic horrors. These are like the Lovecraftian level of them, Cthulhu and such. They are given a job to do in whatever universe they're sent to. They survive and just do what they want until they have to do it. They do what they're sent there to do, and then they're just left to live the rest of their lives and do whatever they want in that universe. So they're just left to do whatever they like as long as they don't undo the thing that they were sent to do. These are the Ongoka. Now, back up to all these various aspects of the 12 children I have talked about as well. There's like Gotzi Ray, who is the only one that's really the bizarrest. It's kind of a odd space monster type thing. All the others are aspects of such. There is Satyr, who used to be Asatarasi, who is a large centipede-like creature. There is Nebukiro, who is a fish-like being. And there's all sorts of things. Tamikanoso, wolf-like, runs with a pack. All of these beings have interests. Now there are 3 zones to the multiverse. There is the Ungara, very hot, very dense, closest to the singularity. Several levels of reality above us. If we went to the Ungara, we would burn to quantum ash in a moment. There's the Ungare, just above ours. Still hot, still dense. We could live there for a while, but we would die. We are out in the Ungarden, the cold and dark. The cosmic horrors and such would never come here. Our universes would burn to ash. They can, the cosmic horrors themselves, the 13, walk on worlds in the Ungara, well, the Ungare, but reality creaks, groans, and the support joints are stressed by them doing that. In the Ungara, they can walk on the worlds there as we walk on our world here. They don't come out here because it's cold and dark. There is another level, the Ungari, that is so rarefied, we are like cosmic horrors. Just our breath would burn their universes into cosmic quantum ash. And then between the universes of every multiverse is the Ungabe. This is like a soap film. It is an insulator between universes. If you imagine a bathtub filled with bubbles, the actual soap film itself is the Ungabe, and the space in the bubbles is each universe. Each universe is actually an Ung, because that includes the universe and the biosphere around the universe. The universe itself is what I talk about when I speak of universe, but I don't use the word Ung much because it's still goofy, but it refers to the universe and the biosphere around it. I'm going to have to talk more about all this because that's just a quick cosmology and very quick cosmic horror overview. So hopefully that was entertaining and thumbs up. But now I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people, I can speak English, have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, I take ADHD meds. We have Chris, thumbs up and thank you. Craig Ball, thumbs up and good to see you here. Greatly appreciated. We have No Cerium, thumbs up and thank you. JAYY Hokey Smokes, go into survival mode. Take care of yourself. You're in a bad situation. I am so sorry. We have Aho, thumbs up and thank you. Jade Berg, thumbs up and thank you. RJ Mitchell, I sure hope today's little talk on mine helped out. So there's more to come. Scott49140, thumbs up and thank you very much. We have Chris again. So actually I gotta kind of take that one back, but still thank you very much. Adrian FNTES, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. We have Ben B, good to see you in the comments as well. Weed Kills, thumbs up and thank you. Jesse Koskinen, I put this one up here just for you, so thumbs up, thank you much, and good to see you. And that is it. We have 12 people that have left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated, and I certainly hope that everyone is doing well. And thank you if you've watched this far and nobody's forced you. You did it of your own volition. Thumbs up and thank you so very much. And with the state of the world today, please, you don't need to get sick. And I don't just mean pandemics. I mean like the common cold or tuberculosis, which actually I got by being in close quarters with people. I had to take the meds for it. And there's polio that's coming back. So just be smart. Be safe for your situation and location. You don't need to get sick. Ugh. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.